Hey everyone, you're listening to the Simple Electronics Podcast, and I'm your host, Dan from the Simple Electronics YouTube channel. And with me today, I've got a very special guest indeed, Vero from the Verowak YouTube channel and Twitch stream, or my wife. How are you, Vero?
Pretty good, aside from nervous, but pretty good.
You have nothing to be nervous about. My community is full of super nice people, so don't worry about that. But maybe you should let everyone know who hasn't been following my tweets and my community posts and my pleas on the podcast to go check out your stuff, who you are, and what you do.
Well, I'm Vero, also known as Verowak, and I mainly stream on Twitch and create content for YouTube. There is a crossover, but there is some YouTube specific content and stream specific content. I mostly play video games. I try to do the harder type of games so you don't have to. And my main focus is just to interact with chat and just create a nice space for people to hang out and enjoy things. I've been told numerous times that my voice is nice and people listen to it to fall asleep, which I was completely not expecting it. So I'm sort of trying to embrace that in my streaming and my YouTube channels now.
There we go. And so basically, people have to go check out your content for themselves and see if they'd like it. But yeah, that's basically it. Vero, the Twitch streamer. But you weren't always a Twitch streamer and a YouTube creator, though. You did have quite a successful career in engineering, right?
Civil engineering, yeah.
Yeah. So can you talk to us a little bit about why you picked civil engineering and then your experiences at work and why you're not doing that anymore?
Okay, so the reason I chose engineering, civil engineering, in all honesty, I had no idea what civil engineers did. So in high school, we have to submit our application for university. We have basically like 3 applications for the price of one. And I had no idea what I wanted to do. So I did theater. I actually did 4: theater, behavioral neuroscience, psychology, and civil engineering. I chose civil engineering because it's sort of like the safest one, the easiest one, because it's math and physics related, which is something that I love and I'm really good at. So I sort of went the easy way out and took engineering solely because math and physics. So I went to school for 4 years. All the while I rated WoW. Obviously, that was my time to shine, playing WoW during
World of
university.
World of Warcraft for the non-gamer types.
Oh, yes, sorry. Yes, World of Warcraft. It's a game that you can easily sink in, 500 hours a week somehow. And so after I graduated, I applied for a job. Obviously, super nervous because I had no idea what I was doing. I was too busy playing video games to actually research what I would probably be doing and what I should be applying for. So I got a job on construction sites, supervising construction, which turned out to, cause me just stress, and I didn't like it, but it was a job. And then eventually I decided it is really not for me, like 3 times. I quit the same company like 3 times.
Yeah, they kept asking you back though because let's just say people with the on-paper qualifications, and you have to correct me if I'm wrong here, but people with the on-paper qualifications, there are tons of them. But people with the on-paper qualifications that actually do a really good job, that's fairly rare, right?
I would say the people with the on paper qualifications that do a somewhat decent and slightly better job are rare, yes.
Okay, and obviously the you are going to roll your eyes at this, but the audience should know that Vero is a very bright spark, I have to say, and honestly, the company really did want her back many times, and they did get her back a couple times, and so Vero is basically the person you should hire if you want someone to be really good at their job and really invested in their job. So.
Oh yeah, I love working. I would say I am a born workaholic. I just have to find something that I enjoy and I'm set.
And so on that front, you decided that you wanted to be an entertainer, I would say. from that career. Is that accurate?
Definitely.
And as people may not know, the entertainment industry is very hard to get into. And so you started on the side in what, 2016 was it? Started streaming on Twitch?
Well, technically, yeah, around 2016 is when I started. I was working on construction out of town, but the internet wasn't really reliable. So I started a little bit for a few months and then I had to stop. Plus, let's face it, construction basically means working at least 50 hours a week. At that point, I think I was working, I don't know if it was then, but I was working 80 hours a week for like 6 months. So obviously, I had no time for anything else. But yeah, technically I started in 2016, but then I took a break and restarted, I think 2018 or 2019. 2018, I think.
Okay. And so what did you like if you could compare engineering and streaming on Twitch and doing YouTube, if you could compare those two, what's the parts that you like of one and what's the parts of you like of the other? And I guess we can talk salary after, but I mean, what are the mechanics of it? Which part did you like from one and which part did you like from the other?
So I'm someone who absolutely loves structure and does really well with it, which is why I excelled in school. I do really well when I'm given basically like a task to do, and there's not like a million different ways of going about it. So engineering for that was pretty straightforward. I had a contract documents. We had statements that said what had to be done, how it had to be done, aside from having common sense about construction processes. So in that aspect, I really liked it because it was clear and concise what I had to do. Like if I wanted to get better, I had to do A to B, and be able to do steps C and D, and then I'm I know I'm improving and I'm doing good. I'm succeeding. So I really like that aspect. I like the structure. I didn't like the random phone calls from home. So it's basically a job that is you're on all the time, but you don't know why. So there was some night shifts, some day shifts, which I was fine with. I just didn't like the fact that I never knew when what was going to happen. So the uncertainty of it was a bit annoying at times, especially if, like when I was working the 8 hours a week, I had three different contracts. So I had to basically juggle and manage three of them. I had inspectors calling me from one of them while I had a meeting with the other one, and then the third one had something else happen. So, like, this is a very specific circumstance, but everything was overwhelming after a while and like unknown. But I did really like the structure. For content creating, there is no structure. It's basically try something, see what happens, and go from there. Like, what games am I going to play? I have no idea. There's no rule that says, oh, if you play this game, you will succeed. That's not a guarantee. Like you could take two different streamers playing the same game. There's so many factors that influence it. Luck is one of them. Time zone, because if you play at the same time as someone else, sometimes you may not be able to cross over the communities, and it's just so much uncertainty. That's what I don't like about it. I like being like, oh hey, if I do this, I will do good. But now it's like, try it. Might work, it might not work. Someone else tries the exact same thing and it works really well for them. So it's very, I guess, stressful in that sense. And I don't
Y-
like that.
Yeah, and as a YouTube creator myself, I feel exactly what you mean, where you make videos that you would think would knock it out of the park, and then they get like 400 views and die. And you make videos, just because you felt like it, and and all of a sudden it gets like 500,000 views. It's very random, and I'm guessing on Twitch it's even more random because the live aspect means that your audience can't just find your content next week or the week after and then enjoy it. The live aspect of it really is a big draw, isn't it?
Oh, for sure. Like if I'm streaming, let's say like I don't know, 12 p.m. Eastern to let's just say 4 p.m. Eastern, Australia's probably never going to see me because it's middle of the night and they're most likely all sleeping. So you try to think, okay, well, if I do this, then it's like 6 p.m. in Central Europe. and you finish at, let's say, 10 p.m., and then which is could be pretty good because people are finishing work. Some people like to watch it during work. There's just so many aspects that you're like, there's no way of knowing. You can try to get them to your YouTube channel, but again, time zones affect a lot of things. They could be like, I love what you do, but I can't watch you during the times you stream. So it's sort of like, huh, there's no pleasing everyone, which makes it hard.
Absolutely. And so, like, where would you say you are now in your streaming career? Would you say that you're, let's say, one of the like lowest streamers? Are you in the middle? Are you like one of the top streamers? Like, where would you position yourself compared to where you started?
Well, I mean, for those who don't know, there's like so many streamers, so many streamers. There's vast majority of them have very few viewers, which I mean, it makes sense, right? There's just so many streamers, you can basically pick and choose whichever one you want. So there's a lot of people who go unnoticed. I would say that I personally feel like I'm still a small streamer. I'm not a starting out streamer, if that makes sense, but I would say I'm not a medium or big streamer.
So, just for context, for people listening at home, Twitch.tv, it says they have a roughly 8 million active streamers, and at any given time when you go on the website, there's 127,000 individual broadcasts going on. So there's a lot of streamers. In fact, there's probably somewhere around, actually, that's how many YouTube channels. Um, there are about 37 million YouTube channels. So how big YouTube is, Twitch is something somewhere around like a third of that or a quarter of that. So I mean, that's a lot. And so, like, correct me if I'm wrong here, but at the beginning, there's a lot of people that stream for like one or two people, right?
Oh, for sure. When you start out, like you're probably going to expect like 0 to 5 viewers for a while. And I know a lot of streamers who do start out, they get so excited when someone talks in chat, which I completely understand because you're streaming and talking to yourself, and then when someone shows up, you're like, oh my god, someone else to talk to, kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I also find that there's some people that stream very niche things. Like they'll stream games that are like maybe 15 years old, so not old enough to be classics, but old enough that everyone forgot about them. And there's like literally no market for it. But these people, I mean, some of these people stream every single day to like empty rooms. So, like at least that's what it feels like.
For sure. I like, again, Twitch, there's so many factors influencing it. Like for example, you could be streaming a game that you absolutely enjoy, but no one watches. And you're probably not going to be able to grow your base quickly, for example. But then again, there's the luck aspect that what happens if a really big streamer is streaming that same game, let's say on the same day, and they host you, right? Like, which is not something that happens often, but it could happen, which is where the luck does come in, where, the vast majority of people playing this game will never get noticed unless something else happens.
For the uninitiated, what's a host?
Oh, host is basically like, let's say I'm finishing my stream, I'm bringing my community, so my viewers, to go see another person. So if I'm hosting Simple Electronics, basically at the end of my stream, I'm just going to do a command that we're just going to basically switch over to his stream after.
So what you're saying is you could have sent hundreds and hundreds of people to me, and you haven't. Is that what you're saying?
I still haven't seen you stream on Twitch yet, so I keep waiting. I keep waiting. I have my notifications ready that when you go live, I'll be notified, and I still haven't seen it yet.
Well, it's because I'm a stealth streamer. I've been actually meaning, so to the people listening, um, Vero and I were talking as we do, and I was saying that I do intend to stream on Twitch at some point, but it probably won't be electronics content because I can do that on YouTube. I have a much better audience there, but it would be to stream like I don't know, the games basically. I have a sim racing cockpit that I am building out of 2x4s. If if just I could, I had to chop down a couple of my old projects because 2x4s are now $10 for an 8 foot length in Canada. So that's extremely expensive. But I'm finishing up the build at some time in the next couple of weeks, and then I'm going to want to do some sim racing. So I'm probably going to be doing some on Twitch, not competitive because I'd have to practice first. But yeah, if you want to come see, do that. And then maybe when I'm done, I can raid Vero. So send you right into Vero's stream or vice versa.
Yeah, exactly. Just make sure you start 10 minutes before I finish, and then I'll send people over.
So what should like a brand new streamer, let's say one of our audience right now that's listening, they want to start doing a Twitch stream. Do you have any advice for them?
It depends what you do it for, to be honest. If you're trying to do Twitch streaming to make it big, that's probably a bad idea. If you're doing streaming because you want secondary income, it might take a while. If you're doing it because you love playing games and you just want to interact with people, I would say, like, ideally, that's the best thing to do, the most reliable one, I would say. It's not easy to make, I would say, a living off of streaming or YouTube or content creating. It does take a lot, I mean, a lot of work if there's no luck involved. Again, anything I say can just be completely thrown out the window if you do get lucky, but that's not guaranteed.
Oh, for sure. And like, what's weird is that we both sort of, I guess, accidentally started doing Twitch and YouTube for income. I mean, for me, I mean, I really want to teach. That's the thing I want to do. But the college and this whole pandemic thing has been so unreliable that it's become to the point where for the last like 8 months or so, I've been doing YouTube as my job, which is weird to think about. And for yourself, I think it was kind of like, while you were looking for what you wanted to do, and then it turned into kind of your job. Is that about accurate?
Yeah, like I'm still like I guess I'm one of those who has no idea what they want to do, like what kind of career or what kind of job I would enjoy doing. I've tried things. I've done I guess a handful of jobs and maybe more than a handful. It's just nothing really sticks. Like there's always something that's just really off, I guess. And I will say to everyone listening, I basically deal with extremes or absolutes, if you will. And it's basically either I despise something or I really like something. It's really hard to have a middle ground, and I don't know why. So a lot of jobs, it's like one extreme or the other. And so it's hard to find something that I can sort of have a middle balance. So yeah, like content creating has sort of been my, I don't know what to call it, like the fallback, but sort of the thing I'm constantly working on until I can figure stuff out.
And actually, that brings us to a reason why you can't rely on starting a YouTube channel or a Twitch stream if you need income, because very recently, oh, I'll just use my own story. Um, Not too long ago, 2019, I think, one of my videos went semi-viral where I would get something like, I think I got 40,000 views in a day or two, and it started paying off. And I started getting more subscribers, and my channel accelerated. But Vero, you had a similar thing happen very recently. Can you talk about where your YouTube channel was a couple months ago and where it is now?
So yeah, I guess I've been doing content on YouTube for quite a while, and I feel like the growth hasn't been amazing. Like there's not that much content for what I did, which was They Are Billions, which is an RT real time strategy game. That's very difficult, but it never really picked up. There's other people that were doing it that were doing better, like Twitch wise, viewer wise, YouTube also. And I was like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And then all of a sudden, like, I think it was like 3 weeks ago, maybe 4 weeks. I don't know. Time is a blur for the past month. Um, I started one of my videos for a new game, sort of started picking up. And I was like, oh, that's pretty nice. It's probably just going to be like, one video peak and then it'll die down. That's fine. But that wasn't the case. And now it keeps climbing and climbing. Like in the past, I guess in the past month, my channel has basically grown by a third. Like I've gotten 33% of my total subscribers in 1 month. And I was like, how is this even possible? So it's been interesting that different things are working and I don't know why. So I'm trying to like focus more on that. But the channel is growing and I'm sort of at this stage where I'm like, okay, well it's gonna peak at some point and die down just like it usually did. But I don't know. I hope not, obviously. That would be nice.
So, just for a little bit of context, how many hours a week did you work up until 3 weeks ago? Okay, so before, how many hours a week did you put into YouTube, like efforts to grow YouTube and to make content for YouTube
For YouTube specifically, well, what I would
specifically?
usually do is use the content from Twitch because the what I would do is a 2 hour long map. So I would post the entire thing on YouTube. I would do minimal editing, like I would edit some things, but it's not like a truncated 2 hours to 30-minute thing. I would show the entire process. But the hours put into YouTube, I would say would probably be, I don't know, I guess maybe 10 hours or less, I would say. Definitely less per week. That was like 3, 4 weeks ago.
Sorry, that's including um, editing, setting up for export, making thumbnails, doing descriptions. You say it was only about 10 hours a week?
It's something like that. And like looking at comments and stuff. I didn't really get that many comments. I did get some, but I was like, oh, I'd like more comments because I like the interaction. So I would say probably, um, yeah, that's not including the actual stream time, obviously, because that's when I would be recording it.
Okay. And then, so how many years have you been doing that for?
Like 2 or 3.
Okay, so 2 or 3 years. So we'll say 500 hours, 520 hours a year, right? And then let's say 3 years, it's 1,500 hours. And you were somewhere around 4,000 subscribers because of that.
Yeah, I would say probably less than that. It wasn't like I guess it wasn't like a consistent thing. I would probably do like a batch of videos at once, which would take like if you're not counting the export time because I'm not actually doing anything, um, I would say overall it would be less than that. But yeah, we'll just go with that.
Okay. And then all of a sudden, something in the algorithm changes where
Hmm.
your videos started getting noticed. And now how many hours are you putting in every week, would you say?
I think it's probably easier to say how many hours I'm not putting in. I forced myself to take 6 hours off one day, so that would be it. I'm basically constantly working at it because I'm recording stuff off stream. I'm not using only the stream content. So I'm trying to do challenges. I'm trying to do like achievement hunting. I'm trying to showcase different things, different mods, do some different modding, different games. And it's a lot of time. So I would say probably like, I don't know, 8 to 10 hours a day, maybe?
Is that including your stream time or no?
No.
So you're doing eight to, yeah, and by the way, audience, I believe it. I barely see her anymore. So she's doing 4 to 6 hours of stream per day, usually around between 1 p.m. and sort of 6 p.m. Eastern time. And then the rest of her time before and after is getting YouTube going because she's trying to make hay while the sun shines. Am I right?
Basically, yeah. I mean, I figured if people are interested in the content, it makes sense that I should be producing more content. If I just stop, then I mean, I'm not really helping myself now, am I?
I think most people would just take time off of stream to concentrate on YouTube, but I think it's the interaction you crave, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I guess I would say that streaming is sort of like a bit of time off, though with streaming, I do have the extremely, extremely difficult decision of what game do I play. Because I'm also trying to grow stream there. So I'm trying to cater to the audience and be like, well, does the audience want this type of game or this type of game? Because whatever game I try, I look at the stats to see what works and what doesn't. And despite what other people say, being like, oh no, whatever game you play, people will be there. I'm like, no, that's not the case. A lot of people watch a streamer for the game they play and not for the streamer. So I'm trying to shift from that kind of streamer to a streamer that people want to watch to interact with. So Twitch is, I mean, streaming I guess would be my downtime from YouTube at the moment, which is weird.
That is very weird. But then again, you're the hardest worker I've ever met, because when you were working as an engineer in the summer during construction season, I mean, sometimes you would work like 18-hour days. Like, it's ridiculous.
As I
And
said, I like working. I am a workaholic. I love working.
and now you're working like crazy on YouTube. And in fact, right now when we're recording this, this should be your YouTube video making time. So I guess I owe you for a couple of unmade videos there.
Oh no, no, I have some. I just have to. I have a couple of them ready. Basically, it just it takes a while to be like, okay, well, do the thumbnail, pick which one, do everything.
I've
So that's
started
after stream.
I've started enjoying making thumbnails actually. I put little jokes that make me laugh and that nobody ever calls out in the comments. Very rarely they call it out. So I think I have to make thumbnails for me, and it seems like less of a chore.
Well, that makes sense. I feel like if I do that, I would want to put references of some kind, like Lord of the Rings references or even Star Wars, Star Trek, doesn't matter. I would want to put some kind of reference, which I feel like sometimes I do when like the inspiration hits me, but that's also hard, which is giving me more work to do.
Yeah, and you're in production mode right now. It's kind of different. You don't really have the leisure time to kind of think about it. You're just kind of trying to pump out good content to make the algorithm happy, I guess.
Yeah, my leisure time is working on other stuff.
hmm So another thing is that you have a Discord community, which some of my viewers have been pestering me about starting. So can you talk a little bit about your community, what it gives you, maybe what you like, what you don't like about it?
So, from my perspective, um, the community a lot of times what it makes itself. So you could have a lot of people following you, a lot of people watching your stuff, but if you don't have those people that are interested in having discussions and sharing things about themselves or what they're doing or their projects, it's going to be very hard because you're going to have to be sort of the one thinking of all the topics and everything to say and things to share and comment. So it can be a lot of work, I find. If you get lucky and you can find, like, if you attract some people that are like really interested in sharing what they're working on, things that are happening, like maybe they went for a walk and someone drove by and splashed them with a water puddle, like just sharing random things like that to start conversation. I feel like that helps the community a lot, which I find I don't really have that. So it feels like, for the most part, like occasionally that's not the case. There are some people or some conversations that do start up naturally within the community. But I do find a lot of times is if I don't mention something, if I don't have a story or if I don't have something to say or talk about something, it's very quiet. I would definitely say it's worth trying a Discord community for sure. If people are pestering you about it, I mean, I would say it's probably worth it. The only thing is you have to decide how much effort you're going to put into it.
Yeah,
If
and
you're going
and
to be like, okay, well, I'm going to put in, I'm going to be active on it all the time, or if you only want to look at it in the morning and the night and that's it, kind of thing.
what's really weird for me is that when I'm working, um, I can only do a certain amount of YouTubing before it gets just too much. And I figured out that when I'm not working, the limit is very close to the same, where I've had enough of YouTube. Like, I don't want to edit anymore and whatever. And then I just watch YouTube instead of doing what I should do. And I'm afraid that if I start a Discord community, which I like the idea of, aside from the fact that it's Discord, I would much rather a forum community so that the knowledge doesn't get erased once Discord gets bought out or
Oh, for
explodes or
sure.
everyone's on to the next one. But anyways, I'm afraid that if I start a Discord community, instead of eating up into my free time like it should, it'll eat up into my YouTube production time, which would be a bad thing. So that's this is kind of the one of the things that is sort of slowing me down from doing that.
Well, like, and so another thing that you could do, which I would love to have that, but I have yet to be able to find the people for it. If you can find some people that are really interested in just being part of the community and sharing, you can see if they'd be interested in being like moderators for the Discord and sort of help shape the community, that kind of thing. I feel like it's a lot easier if you can get help from others rather than do everything yourself. Like again, do as I say, not as I do kind of thing, because I don't know how to do that. But delegating and finding people to help would be really good, especially for a Discord community, because it would take some pressure off of you. If they can be active, if they want to be active, then that would be amazing. If you can find someone like that, I think that would be ideal for you.
Yeah, but and yes, so you're right. But I also have quite a few communities that I'm part of that I don't spend enough time in because I don't have the wherewithal. So, for example, BitLooney. Um, Most people listening know BitLooney, but he's a German electronics creator. He has a bustling community. Brian Locke, which is a Irish electronics creator, he has a bustling community. Unexpected Maker, Sion, he's an Australian. Billy Rubin. There's a lot of really good electronics communities out there. So that's another reason why I'm not sure it would be necessary for me to start my own. Although some of my viewers do disagree with that statement, but yeah, I guess I'm not certain about it. That's all.
But what would the goal, I guess, of your Discord server to be?
It would be for, I guess specifically my community to talk about whatever they want to talk about, and maybe there'd be a section for video feedback and stuff like that. I'm not sure.
So I guess this is the way I see it is a Discord community or a community that you grow is a community that hopefully shares and are just happy to be there to be chatting with other people, like-minded people, and obviously some people connect more with certain content creators than others, and maybe they just would rather chat with you than others. That's quite possible.
Okay, yeah, that's true. So in the meantime, if people want to reach out, they can at me I'm in BitLoonies, Brian Locks, I'm in Billy Rubins, I'm in Unexpected Makers. Basically, uh, and if you can't find me, then Johnny Bergdahl, our live stream hanging out in Swedish guy, he knows how to reach me. So if the community might come, folks, but for now, if you need to reach me, I'm in all those communities. So there we are.
But I do completely get it. Being in different communities, it's really hard to be active in them all. Like ideally, that would be nice if you could just chat with everyone in every Discord. But that is a job, full-time job in itself, basically.
Oh yeah, and I'll also just give a plug because one specific community of yours, Vero, has really helped me in the last couple of weeks, and that is the health and exercise community, which is aptly named Stronk. Um, Basically, it's a positive only section of the Discord where we encourage each other to just do minor little workouts throughout, like every single day. And basically, through that, I started watching what I eat. I stopped stress eating. I started working out every day. I think I missed only one day of doing workouts. And I think I've lost, uh, close as makes no difference, 17 pounds in the last couple of weeks. And so for those American types, 5'9" and 222 is where I started approximately. Now I'm 220, 205 this morning, 204 something. And for the continental types, it's 178 centimeters and let's see, 222 pounds to kg. I have to do the live conversion here, but this is normal for the podcast. 100 kilograms, and now I'm down to, oops, 205. I'm down to 93 kilograms. So I am dropping weight quickly, and I have to thank you and your strong community for helping me with that. And if anyone else wants to just a daily reminder to do exercise, go check out Vero's Discord. It's in the link is in the description, and go check out that health and exercise. But I will warn you that if you bring any negativity, you're not welcomed. Basically,
Oh, definitely not. Like that's the thing is I would love to have a community and I have plans of things that I want to do in the future. But it just I feel like I need to get something stable first before I can work on those. I honestly just want to help others. If it's a daily reminder to do exercise, and even if every other day you do it, that's fine. Even if it's just 5 push-ups. If you can't do more, don't worry about it. If it's 5 sit-ups or crunches or 5 squats, that is perfectly fine. It's basically just trying to get into the habit of doing something, because I know a lot of people that play video games are sedentary. So any kind of movement is encouraged. So obviously I don't want people to feel like, "Oh, well, I can't do 10 push-ups, so I feel bad." You don't have to share your progress. You don't have to tell us how much you're doing. If you're intimidated by it, like obviously people can always contact me. But it's just a reminder being like, "Hey, if you have time to do 5 push-ups or 5 squats." Depending, because I know some people, have bad wrists, they have bad knees. So just some kind of exercise that you can do.
absolutely. And I would even say, like, if your exercise is getting up every hour to stretch, just to give yourself a nice stretch and a yawn, I mean, that's better than nothing.
Oh, for sure. Stretching is great. A lot of people should be doing more stretches for sure. But even if you can do, yeah, like you said, just get up and stretch every hour, even if it's just getting up, like walking to, I don't know, a different room and coming back, like it's still better than nothing.
Absolutely. So I have asked my community at the last second for questions to ask you during this podcast. And I only have two people who have submitted questions because it was last minute, but they've submitted more than one question. So can I lay those questions on you?
Sure.
Okay. So, question one by these are all by Kyle Allred, one of my viewers, 13 hours ago. How many of her husband's household improvements does she consider useful versus him having fun with his toys? So, how many things have I done useful in the house as opposed to just playing with toys?
um, I'm sure there are some. Let's see. I mean, setting up for my art stream video, that was pretty nice. You set up it's not really an electronic wise though. It was just,
Doesn't matter. We're a maker podcast here.
yeah. So, just helping me set up a table, because I have a bad back, so standing is ideal a lot of the times instead of sitting. So I have a standing desk. But for my art YouTube channel, which hasn't been touched in way too long, there's also a shelf at the top, sort of set up to bolt the camera into to record, because
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a good enough webcam or anything to use. Like the quality is not the greatest for that kind of thing. I would say that that's helpful, at least for me.
I'll
Um,
say I'll say it's mostly playing with toys. If I had to answer this, but I will say though I am Vero's tech support.
oh gosh, yes, tech support. I hate technology. It hates me. It's a
Yeah,
mutual hate relationship.
I feel like technology bit first though.
Always.
I feel like you guys don't understand. Vero is like, and she's gonna roll her eyes. I can just feel it. But Vero is like the most intelligent person I've ever met. But for whatever reason, technology hates her. Actually, fate hates her. Just an example: when we go to her family to go visit her family up in the Great White Frozen North, There's this one prominent McDonald's on the way that we pass every single time. We often, we sometimes stop, and I'll get something to eat, but Vero doesn't really like McDonald's so much, so she doesn't. There's one time where she was craving, was it a McFlurry?
Yeah.
There was no McFlurry. Just that one
Mm-hmm.
day. I'm sure, you know what? I'm sure it was that one like 10-minute span.
Well, there's also the Cine Minis at Burger King that, like, I was like, oh my god, like, I love Cine Minis. They're delicious for breakfast. It's like cinnamon buns, but just like in, I don't know what they're like cookie format. I don't really know
They're
with
like mini
icing,
cinnamon buns.
but they're not very doughy. So I guess that's the part that's a bit throwing off. Anyways, you dip them in icing, and I was like, oh my god, this is so amazing dessert for breakfast. And we went there several times, and then they just discontinued them.
Yep,
And
because
I
I
was like,
think you
okay.
were the only one buying them.
Yeah, and then there's Chips Ahoy kind of cookies. It was, I think it was called Dulce de Leche,
Yep,
but it was amazing because the store near us had them on discount, I think, a lot of times.
because
Or
no one
anyways, I
bought them.
just
Yeah.
got them. Yeah, because no one except for me bought them, so it got discontinued.
Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, question 2. Have you guys ever done a co-op game on her stream?
Um, hmm. I feel did not. I would say no, not that I can remember.
Did you stream us playing Diablo 3 once?
Maybe. I'm not
Maybe.
100% sure.
So the question is, the answer is maybe, I guess.
Maybe. I mean, there's a game I love playing. I cannot find people to play with because I don't know why. People just don't. I don't know. People don't like me. Probably that's my guess. No, I'm kidding.
Hmm.
You keep talking and nobody explodes. It's a co-op game where one person gets a manual, the other person gets a bomb, and the person with the manual has to give instructions to the person with the bomb on how to diffuse it rather. And it's such a fun game, but I've played it with one other streamer and then have not been able to play with anyone else. That was like 2 or 3 years ago.
You're burying the lead. So the other streamer said, "Okay, I need to go get. I think it was go to the bathroom or
He didn't even
get
say
some."
anything. He just left.
He did. I think he did say it. I think you were talking to your community
Oh,
at the time,
maybe,
but it
maybe.
doesn't matter. Up and left, and then Vero started diffusing the bomb without the manual. She remembered enough of it to start diffusing, and when by the time he got back, then he could feed her instructions. That was a great moment.
That's not quite how it worked. It was Simon Says, which is just pattern recognition. And so the
Hmm.
pattern is not always the same depending on how many strikes you've had. It changes. So, anyway, so I started one and I tried to notice the pattern and I did. So it's not like I just remembered, I just recognized it.
She also has a habit of minimizing her achievements.
But also, that's why I can't. I would love to play that game. Like, I would absolutely love to go through that manual and read it and see how it is and play solo. But if I do that, I can't play with anyone because I'll remember the manual.
Yeah, because of your brilliant mind.
Hmm.
Number 3. I actually know the answer to this one. Would you be a willing guinea pig for me to teach electronics to, so you can ask questions that I wouldn't think to cover?
For sure, 100%.
Absolutely.
My door's open. It actually is. It can't close properly.
We have a we have a video that we've thought of doing already. It's just that both of us need the wherewithal at the same time. Number 4. Do you trust my tinkering enough to upgrade your streaming PC?
Oh, for sure.
I'm the one who built it. So
Hmm.
take that, Kyle. Number 5. How long have we been married?
Well,
That's the thing. We're not.
we're not.
We're common law.
Common law, yeah.
We met in 2009.
Yeah.
So we've been together, and you moved in pretty quick, pretty clingy.
Uh huh.
She moved into my apartment because my roommate was leaving.
And
So
plus, my lease was up soon anyway, so I was like, oh my god, perfect timing. Might as well.
yeah, timing. Is there a circuit/device that you want me to create?
Hmm. I mean, things that I can think of would be like silly things, like a something that does like weird lights, but I don't know. I'm thinking I'd love to think of things that you could do for like short films, but I lack the brain capacity at the moment and for the past little while to really be able to focus and think of things. So
Well, you are buried in priorities at the moment, so
I
that
know,
kind of
but I
makes
still want
sense.
to do short films. Like I really want to do at least one this year. I just don't know what or when or how. So
Yeah,
maybe we could talk about it and see what we could sort of incorporate in terms of technology and
maybe
what
the
you could do.
commenters can let us know.
For sure.
There we go. No, nothing bad ever came from the comment section, right?
No, this is the internet. Everyone is nice and everyone is always truthful. And there are no girls.
There we go. Yeah, exactly.
Of course.
Um, so the next questions are coming from another maker. I think you know him.
Hmm.
He's a genuine Florida man. What's it like living in a house with two celebrities?
Who's the other? No, I
Wow.
meant you and who's
Wow.
the
No,
other?
you
You.
didn't. No, you didn't.
Yes, you and who's the other?
Okay, here's the next question. Which one of you is more famous?
I guess it depends on what famous means. I would say me for sure.
Of course, I agree. I think
I would
I'd
say
rather
so.
see
Like,
you than me.
but I mean, people know what I look like, so technically,
That's true. The
um,
closest facsimile people have to me is Al Borland from Home Improvement.
hmm But I
Okay.
mean, I would love to, I guess, like be more famous in the sense, be more known, so I could have bigger impact on people's lives and help more people, that kind of thing.
Yeah, true. That would be pretty neat.
Hmm.
I would love to be more famous to get more sponsors so I can get more money than what I spend on bills and stuff. And then I can start supporting others instead of just myself.
Oh yeah, for sure. Same. Like people telling me, commenting, saying that, oh, they love seeing the video, just listening to my voice while they're working. I'm like, I don't know. I never thought people would say that, but I'm like, that's awesome. Like if people find enjoyment in that or it can help them, like someone said that, they found me sort of at the beginning of COVID and I've really helped them through. And I'm like, I honestly didn't think that would be a thing, but I'm like, it's so great hearing that.
It is an awesome feeling when you get it when you feel like you've made an impact in someone's life.
For
That's
sure.
incredible. What's your favorite video of mine?
Hmm.
Tell them.
The snow speeder one.
Snowspeeder one.
I don't really watch his videos.
Yep. You and most of the world, actually.
Well, you and most of the world don't watch mine. Um,
I have your stream open every single day, and I pop in from time to time.
well, every time you stream, I have it open. There you
This is
go.
very.
Is
This
this
is
a
true.
competition?
No, no, it's true. You do. You are in my streams. It's very true. So yeah, I mean, I don't blame her. It's very. My content is very directed to a narrow audience, which is something I'm trying to expand upon a little bit. So yeah,
But in
but
all honesty, I don't watch much YouTube. So there's also that aspect. Like I don't have a favorite YouTuber. A lot of the things that I enjoy from YouTube is listening to music, doing listening to like piano covers, that kind of thing. So I don't really watch many YouTube videos. I
true.
don't know why. I don't think I have much of like a big interest in things. I love the things that I enjoy. I feel a lot of times it's not stuff that I'm not going to say is not YouTube watchable, but I love movies. I love entertainment. I love things like that. But I don't really want to know about celebrities and listen to all the celebrity gossip and stuff. That would, oh, no. I could watch short films, but with my motion sickness, it all depends on the camera movement.
Yeah, Vero's got a terrible case of motion sickness. In fact, it locks her out of the most popular games on Twitch. So she's already starting with a leg in a cast, so to speak.
Yeah. So if there's any kind of like shaky cam, or if people are like, oh my God, we're going to be so creative and do like a rotating shot, I can't watch those. So it's a lot of times that I'm like, well, I can watch movies, but again, certain movies I have to basically shut my eyes for a while until they stop spinning.
Yeah, that's a pretty debilitating thing, and especially as like someone who's making their living playing video games. I mean, you probably would have increased your viewership if you could have jumped onto the latest first-person shooters as they were coming out.
Yeah, but again, I feel like I wouldn't really. I'm not saying the entire community is bad, but there's a lot of people. I would probably get a lot more trolls, especially because I'm a, female video gamer.
Yeah, definitely. Um, how do you both encourage each other in this weird creator life?
Hmm.
Good question.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think like I can answer for me while you think of yours, but I think I just try to reframe negative thoughts because it's very easy to be hard on yourself when you see your stats taking a dip or something like that. So, I mean, we discuss progress on YouTube and Twitch a lot, and I guess it's always helpful to have a reminder that even though, yeah, there's a downturn in the stats compared to 3, 4 weeks ago or last year, you're still in an upwards trend overall. I think that's my strat.
I guess he doesn't really. I would say you don't share that much with me. Like, you tell me about upcoming things that you're working on and sponsorships and stuff, and I'm supportive, and I think that's great. But there's not really much that you either ask for my opinion or anything.
But in more general, like just trying to get me to make more videos, you're very helpful for that. Like you're not. I guess I wouldn't bounce ideas off you because you don't. In fact, I do sometimes bounce ideas off you, but
Hmm.
I don't ask for your opinions like between, should I do a transistor project or a relay project? But definitely, I feel like you're my rock when it comes to, okay, I need to get stuff done and I don't feel like doing it. And then you'd be like, well, maybe you do a little bit of this and then that, or maybe you reward yourself after you do this. So
Yeah,
I
I try
think,
with bribes for sure.
yeah, I think you're extremely useful to my productivity for sure.
Okay, well, I guess I don't feel like it because I'm like, oh. And then I do try to break things down in smaller steps, which I completely understand is if you're working on a project, you're like, okay, well, I have to do all of this, which can get very daunting. But if you break it down, you're like, okay, well, I'll start with, with doing one aspect, and then I can take a break after that, and then look at the other aspect, and then take a break. It's a lot more manageable than just I need to do all of this.
We also have, I think, daily talking points like what's the plan for today, and I think that really helps me organize my thoughts of what I should be doing, like prioritize and stuff like that. So
Well,
I
that's
think that
good
helps
then.
too. Hmm.
I'm just like YouTube. That's
All
what
right,
I'm doing today. Oh, YouTube. Yeah, I'll do more YouTube.
here's another one. Other guys will want to know how to get their wives to let them order so much stuff.
Okay, this is okay. Okay. Why does it matter? If it's their money, why does it even matter? That's my big thing. You're your own person. You do whatever you want. You don't need permission.
This is the weird thing. Like if you if you're tight on finances, then yeah, maybe you should not order so much stuff. But the stuff I've been ordering recently is stuff for PCBWay videos, which they sponsor me. So I can use the sponsorship money to 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 order stuff to make more projects, which will be sponsored anyway. So they're kind of a business expense at the moment. But I mean, when I was working, um, my bills were being paid, and so the rest. I mean, this is my hobby. I mean,
Oh
what do you
yeah, for
want?
sure. Like the way I see it, if you could pay your mortgage or your rent and all the bills, if you're in a relationship, you probably want to have a discussion of, are you guys saving money? Are you saving up for anything? Like you should always save a little bit of money. And then after that's done, doesn't matter what you do with your money. It's your money. Spend it how you want. If you want to do it hobby doing electronics, or if your hobby is, Warhammer, or if your hobby is going hiking, and invest your money however you want.
Yeah, that's a I don't feel like I would be happy in a relationship if we had to have like, a sit down review of like every dollar spent.
No. If
Um,
you're not able to pay rent or mortgage or bills, then there's a different issue, but if all of those are covered, if the joint aspects are covered, do whatever you want with your money. You're an adult. I shouldn't have to like I shouldn't be babysitting you or I shouldn't be telling you no.
and
If I'm the one being unreasonable and I'm like, "No, you have to pay for our dates every Thursday," then that's well, first of all, it should be split anyways. There's no reason why one person should pay and not the other. I guess that's just my stance. You don't need permission.
I will say though, I rigorously double check all of Vero's purchases.
Which one?
She doesn't buy anything.
I don't know what to buy. Like I don't I that's the thing is I feel like I don't have like something that I'm extremely interested in.
And I'll say too, I like buying her stuff. So you guys saw in the mailbag video the keyboard that I had ordered, that was for her. That wasn't for me. I
Yeah, but
bought it
I'm
for her.
paying for it.
Are you? It's going back.
Well, yeah, yeah, okay, but I guess that's the thing is, you have the account, so the Prime.
Mhm.
So it
Yeah,
makes sense that you get it and then I pay you for that.
but sometimes you forget, and I purposely don't remind you. So,
I know I have a huge memory problem. I need even if I write things down, I like forget to look at the paper. It's terrible.
so I take advantage because I love her. I like spending on her. Like, what do you want me to say?
I mean, there's nothing really to spend on a keyboard and then well, I guess we'll see maybe December there'll be something. I don't know.
Yeah, once those RTX cards come out.
Yeah, I feel like once I can actually like again, once things are stable, if I could be stable in content creating, I think I would be able to focus more time in other things. But even then I still wouldn't buy anything.
Yeah, basically. And I think so. That's it for another maker's question. So those are the two creators or the two people that have supplied questions for us. But I have one more for you that I ask every single one of my guests. Can I
Uh-oh.
shoot that to you now?
Yeah.
So you don't listen to the podcast, do you?
Of course I
That's
do.
fine. That's fine. This is supposed to be unprompted, and there's no wrong answers. It's an open-ended question. So the question goes: you get a government grant to start the business of your dreams. So think unlimited money. You don't have to be profitable, but you do have to provide a service or make a product. What kind of business do you start?
I will start a business of some kind to help people with mental health.
Okay.
That is my biggest thing. I would love for people to be able to be more comfortable to seek help they need because mental health issues is massive. And so many people refuse to even acknowledge it for fear of either looking weak or like for men not being manly, for example, and showing emotions, which is complete garbage. Um, I would love to be able to make an impact and help people that need help. I've had so many ideas of doing different things. If I had unlimited money, I would also try to do sort of like the strong community, just be able to help others with their exercising, even if it's just meeting up with people and going for a walk. If it can get people out of the house and do things that they wouldn't normally do, even if it's just a little walk, I wish I could help people be more comfortable um, and deal with their issues. But I think the main thing would be the mental health issue.
Do you have maybe an example of something that you had thought of for
I
helping mental health?
so obviously the way that I work is I do everything myself. Like for streaming, I do all my emotes, I do absolutely everything. I have not paid anyone to do anything for any of my stuff, which is probably a bad thing, but
Hang on. It's not the Donald Trump kind of not paid. Like she told someone to do something and then she didn't pay for it. She literally just does it herself.
yeah, yeah, I just do it all myself because I I don't know why.
Strong, independent woman.
I just don't I don't like spending money. I don't know why. But anyways, so one thing that I would want to do is have sort of like, I don't know if this is possible, but have a form of website where people can anonymously contact, because uh, being anonymous is going to help. It does. There's some good things and bad things about it being anonymous on the internet, because and in video games and streaming, for example, people are like, I'm anonymous. I can tell the streamer off whenever I want, and what can they do about it? You can be, mean if you want, but I want to look at it in the positive aspect where you can contact without needing to get personal, and it could be confidential. So ideally, I'd love to be able to hire like a therapist, psychiatrist. I'm not sure what I would need exactly, but I'd love to be able to hire these people to basically be there for people who are contacting using the website.
Sort of like a crisis hotline, but even more anonymous because it would just be like online and like you
Yeah.
don't even have to use your voice, right? You could just type.
Yeah, exactly. And I think there are some things like that exist, but I still would like to be a part of it.
It makes sense. That's very, you know, we hear a lot. Actually, most of the people that I interview on this podcast want to help people. So you're right in line with that. And most people want to help people learn skills, but I think the mental health aspect is strongly ignored in our society here. So I think that's a very uh, selfless thing to do. That'd be awesome.
I mean, it's basically why I want to do, I guess, be in the entertainment aspect industry, even doing short films and movies. If it can either help someone understand something or make someone smile, I feel like if my short film can make someone smile, that's great. If my short film can make someone think about something, that's great. If it can make someone just overall better, then I think that like I've done a good job. So ideally, if I have a grant of some kind, I could do more good on a bigger scale.
Yeah, scale is always the issue, right? Because I would love to do what I'm doing on a much bigger scale, but again, there's the funding. That's the problem.
For sure. Funding
So,
is not easy.
no, any closing thoughts for the people listening at home? You've got basically an open platform here to say whatever you want.
I have no idea. I'm like thinking back of like hot ones. What do you have going on in your life? Look at this camera kind of thing. And I'm like, I don't have any like movies to promote or anything. I guess just, I don't know. If you're interested in having a community and being part of it and just hanging out and having fun, check out my Twitch. I think it's great. I love meeting new people. I love having conversations and interacting with them, even though I can blame them from time to time when I lose in a game. That's even better.
Yeah, she scapegoats her chat a lot, but I think it's a meme. It's not a real thing.
Oh yeah.
So, where do you want people to go find you?
Well, I guess the first thing would be my channel on YouTube, because there's oodles and oodles and zoodles of videos there. Um,
YouTube.com/Verowak.
YouTube.com/C/Verowak.
Okay, I think /Verowak works, but
Does it?
yeah. But anyways, links are in the
Oh,
description.
well, shows how
Um,
much I know.
would you like if people came to your live stream and said hello?
Oh, for sure, definitely. If the time zone thing fits, obviously. Uh, you can follow me on Twitch, which you can turn on notifications, or I think it automatically that's done. I'm not sure. Which you'll get a notification when I go live. If you have the Twitch app, you'll get a notification on your phone. Otherwise, if you join my Discord, I do put I ping everyone when I do go live.
And her Twitch is twitch.tv/Verowak. But again, links are in the descriptions. Vero, I want to thank you for taking your busy time away from YouTube and Twitch to come and talk to the audience here. And I hope a bunch of people will come and check out your stuff, because I think your problem is discoverability, not. I don't think you have a problem with being interesting. I think you have a problem with being discovered.
Yeah, which is a huge issue with content creating, right? Like discoverability is up in the air. If you have social media following, it gets easier because people already know who you are. But if you have nothing, it's like, yeah, needle in a haystack. Let's just get this one.
Mm-hmm. So, listeners, I hope you go check out Vero's stuff. If you have questions for, let's say, another episode, or if there's more that you want to know, just leave them in the comments below. Maybe we'll answer them like this, or maybe we'll answer them at the end of one of my videos or something like that. But I definitely want you to go over to her YouTube channel, check it out. If it's your kind of stuff, hit the subscribe. Go to the Twitch channel, even if you don't want to follow on Twitch and get notifications. I know as a content creator, whenever someone stops by just to say hello, that is awesome. So I want you to do that if you can, and check out the links in the description. And Vero, thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me.
And I hope to catch everyone on the next podcast. Thanks for listening, everyone.